He is a seasoned leader in the real estate and PR industries. As the MD CEO of Realty Limited, he brings 8 years of experience in real estate investment, advisory, and development, alongside 13 years of expertise in PR and media and 5 years of active sales coaching. Eze is also the founder of Win Group of Companies, which encompasses Win Realty, Win Construct, and House 74, all of which specializes in full value chain of real estate and construction. Passionate about empowering the next generation, his mission is to help young people find clarity and progress in a rapidly evolving world by utilizing self-leadership, real estate, and technology as transformative tools. He is also focused on creating enriching experience for real estate investors both in Nigeria and diaspora. He has shared his insights on major stages and contributed to panel discussions at renowned conferences, continuing his commitment to inspiring growth and innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Eze Maximus Chukwujindu.
Hello. 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 Good afternoon, everyone. I think the mic is glitching. Are we excited? Are we excited? Hello, Port Harcourt. Are we excited? All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Eze Maximus, and I'm super excited to be here today. One of the best activities of mine is talking to young people like myself, especially tech-inclined people. My journey actually into entrepreneurship wouldn't be complete without mentioning technology, that's tech. My talk today is centered around tech. My topic is the 5 illusions of building in tech. Right, so there's a lot of buzzword around tech AI lately. A lot of people are, all about the tech and or what have you, but not so many people actually know how to build tech that can solve real life problems and in reverse earn them money. So what we're going to be talking here today is how to really build tech products that can solve real life problems in our jurisdiction that can make us money. But before I go on to talk about that, I would like to give you a little overview about myself and my businesses. So my name is Eze Maximus, and I'm the founder of a real estate company here in Port Harcourt. In fact, Win Group is a group of companies within the real estate and construction value chain, which Win Realty is the elder sister of the companies. We're 4 years in business with, service more than 1,500 satisfied clients. And of course, we also have our Win Construct, which is a construction arm of the company that handles everything construction. And of course, House 74 is a company in-house that handles third-party sales. So we have our booth at the entrance. You can always go there and get your questions. All right, so I will not be deviating so much from what my predecessors have rightly said. Mr. Harry actually nailed it, and of course, the lady from PH Tech Expo also nailed it. But let's get real, right? How many of us here are building something in tech? Can I see your hands up? Right. If you're building something, just raise your hands up, please. Please, I like to connect with my audience, right? So please do. So quite a number of you here are building in tech. The question now is, what are you building? Are you building to solve real life problems, or you are building from vibes and, there's what we call vibe coding currently, where you just open your laptop and you begin to pull up codes from left, right, center. Are you really solving real life problems, or you're just trying to try your hands out? You're just trying to, see whether you can be lucky and create an app that probably an investor somewhere could come in and give you some money? I'm asking that question, and within the course of this conversation, I would like you to answer that also. So we are looking at why most products don't become businesses and what to do instead. So from the topic, the 5 illusions of people building in tech, from the word illusion simply means some of the blind spots that many people who are building in tech are not taking cognizance of. And in reverse, because they are not taking cognizance of those blind spots, they end up building products that doesn't have real life use, and at the end of the day, the product flops. And who is to blame? They themselves, of course. So we'll be looking at some of those illusions right here. So before I go for that, I said that for many people who are building in tech, many of us are in motion, but we are not making progress. What do I mean by motion? You have an outstanding in-house team that is constantly, building, coding, deploying, rehashing, and building and doing everything. But at the end of the day, there is no visible progress, no visible use case out there. Nobody is using your product. Nobody is giving you feedbacks, because you are only much more concerned about the whole vibes inside of your studio, inside of your lab. But you need to understand that for you to be able to make progress, you need to find a way to reach out to the eventual user, those people out there who will be in need of that product you are building. Now, before I go further, I'd like to let you open it up to something very key. One of my biggest inspirations in business is Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. So he said something spectacular in one of his books. It's actually an autobiography. He said that for you in tech or anything you are building, that you must build from the customer backward. You understand? You must build from the customer backward. It means that before you even go to start your first line of code as a tech bro, as a tech sis, you must do what we call market research, market survey, to understand whether this product you are trying to build will be able to solve a real life problem out there. But in most cases, the reverse is the case. Many of us in this room this afternoon, most of the time, begin building before we go to check out in the marketplace if there are people that are in need of this product. And that's where many of us get it wrong. Because at the end of the day, you spend 6 months, you spend 12 months, you spend a whole lot of time, money, and attention building a supposedly viable product. But at the end of the day, the product comes into the marketplace and it flops so badly. So Jeff Bezos said that do the reverse instead. Go into the marketplace, do your survey. It could be virtually, it could be a word of mouth, one-on-one interaction. But by all means, get a market segment that is in need of the product you're trying to solve. And for many of us in Africa that are trying to build products that already have, big competitors out there, talking about Facebook and all these other big brands. You're trying to build, I hear some people say, I want to build the next Facebook of Nigeria, I want to build the next Twitter of Nigeria. That doesn't make sense. I don't think if you build that there'll be anybody needing it, because Twitter is enough for everybody already. Facebook is enough for everybody already. Instagram is enough for everybody already. So what you are going to go and build is going to be a total waste of time. So Africa and Nigeria have enough problems that needs technological solutions that you don't even need to start thinking about how to replicate Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook down here. So the question now is, how serious are our tech brothers, tech founders in thinking deeply on our peculiar problems? How serious are they with the thinking part? Because anybody can rightly replicate a Facebook because they've already done the thinking over the years. They have done the innovation over the years. So you could just go to an Envato marketplace, for many of you that are tech, go download some scripts and probably tweak it and make it a Facebook duplicate. That is not novelty. That is not innovation. Innovation simply means that you have a product that have real life solution it can solve in a jurisdiction. In this case, in Nigeria, in Africa. And for us here in Port Harcourt, I want us to begin to think about our city, about our nation. You understand? We have a lot of problems. We have a poverty problem. We have an income problem. We have an electricity problem. We have a food problem. We have a lot of problems that we, the tech brothers and sisters in this hall today, can swing into action, think deeply, and build solutions for. And for many of you that will be pitching your ideas this afternoon to some of the panelists that will be funding some of the ideas, ask yourself, this thing I'm building, is it solving a real-life solution, or am I just doing vibes upon vibes? It has to be solving a deliberate jurisdictional solution. By jurisdiction, I mean something that is localized enough. It could be here in Nigeria, it could be anywhere. For example, an Ope is a Chinese company that is shipped to Nigeria. For many of you don't know that. Yes. So they created a solution over there in Asia, and they shipped it to the Nigerian market because they have understudied it. So in this case, the problem you're solving mustn't be in your immediate locality. You can build a product that can solve a problem in another locality, but by all means, make sure you're solving that problem. It's important. Beyond UI, UX, solution is the core, element of every good product. I also said that a product is not a business. For many tech brothers and sisters, what we are much more invested in is creating a product. I used to be there before I became a real estate executive. Before I became a real estate person, last 8 years, and eventually a real estate executive last 4 years. I used to be in tech. I know a lot about tech. I got to notice that most tech brothers and sisters are much more excited about the process of building more than the process of bringing that product out into the marketplace. Most times they get so invested with sleepless nights building. They are happy, they are excited. They are building something that they think will change the world. Now, when they have finally pressed the launch button to launch the product into the marketplace, what now happens is the reality sets in. The business side of it begins to lay demands. You understand? Structure, systems, and what have you begin now to call on you. And at that point, because you don't have those knowledge, you don't understand what that means, you tag that product a failure because you don't know how to transit your product into a working and a workable business. Then the last is attention is not demand. So I see many people, building on vibes, and when they come to a LinkedIn or a Twitter thread or Facebook to come and write about the new project they are building, a lot of their fellow colleagues are there supporting them. In the comment section, oh, go boy, go girl, you're building something in a novel, something that's going to change the world. So they begin to think that attention they are getting might translate into demand when the launch button is pressed. No, it's not true. Demand happens when you've been able to understand your market, the target market that will need your product. And this is all embedded in running a proper business. So I will say something before I go to the next slide. If you're here this afternoon and you are thinking in product and not in business, then you might not be able to do something worthwhile. You will need to begin to change your mind from just being a product designer to being a business owner. It's important. Nothing great happens at the point of products. Mark Zuckerberg is a typical example. If you've watched the social media here, please raise your hand. It's a movie on, I think on Netflix or something, that details the life of Mark Zuckerberg, the popular owner of Meta, Facebook, and co. When he started as a product designer. But he knew for him to be able to reach every corner of the world or even make the business bigger, he needed to transit intentionally into being a business owner. And being a business owner is entirely a different ballgame. And I'm not here to bore you, but I'm just here to let you understand the kind of mindset you need to adopt in order to change the fortune of the product you're building. Next slide, please. Now let's go straight to the illusions, one after the other. I won't take your time. The first illusion is the illusion of building. I've already said it earlier on. We are so invested in building as tech brothers and sisters. Almost everybody here now, after here, you are going back to your laboratories, you are going back to your code bases to continue that coding. You are going back to your IT CTO. If you are the CEO, you are going back to your CTO to keep asking what is happening. You know, we are so much invested in building that most times we lose track of validation. So those activities are just chaotic motion. If you don't find a way to validate that idea, at least the MVP is the minimum viable product. That's the least amount of solution that your big idea can solve at the moment. If you're not able to build it out, bring it into the marketplace and find a way to validate it or invalidate it, you will just spend months and years and weeks building something that will actually not be adopted in the marketplace. And that is not the where I want anybody seated here this afternoon to get to. You need to build something that your market is already waiting for, and that comes when you understand your target market. Joseph Don, my very good friend that came here to speak earlier, said that tech people and marketing people had an argument on Twitter some years back, and so on and so forth. See, you need to understand that the market is what determines whether you'll be successful or not. And you have to find a way to fall in love with the market. As a real estate CEO myself, 80% of my thinking, of my activities per day is how to connect to my market. If you have the best product in-house and there's nobody coming to knock on the door to ask you how much your product is, then you have succeeded in wasting everybody's time, especially those that entrusted their time, their energy with you building that product. So you must be somebody who is intentional about validating your market. So I said here, product is only real when people can pay, and by paying, it's not just money. For context, when Facebook started, they were not profitable. What they needed at that point to count as profit was people's attention and being able to stay on the platform. Their stayability on the platform is what determines the profitability of Facebook at that point. And that was what the metrics that the investors needed to see for them to be convinced that this product is going somewhere. So at the first decade of Facebook, it was not profitable. They were busy selling the idea of a social media community that can keep people together, that can connect people together. And guess what? As they are doing that, they are preserving the data back end, and they are showing it to their investors that if we're able to amass much more people by you giving us your money and keeping our platform rolling, then after some years, we can monetize this attention and give you your money back. And guess what? It's what is playing out. So at that beginning, money was not the profit. People's attention and stability on the platform was the profit. And they made sure that happened consistently. So you must build a platform where people are able to pay either with their money, attention, and time. Any of these are currencies, right? You must find a way to make sure that happens. Being able to return, and of course, depend on your platform. Almost everybody here today, if not 80 or 90% of us, are active on Facebook or Instagram. Of course, WhatsApp is a no-brainer. Everybody here is on WhatsApp. So because they have been able to understand the power of building something that the market needs. You understand what I'm saying? It's very important. Go around and ask people that doesn't know you. Your family and your friends might lie to you that you are building something great. And that is not true most of the time. The people that will give you the real data of whether what you're building is real or not is total strangers. People that you can give free drives on your platform. They can go there and, test drive your platform and see where the loopholes are and whether it's actually a solution that is being needed at this point in that jurisdiction. Hope that's clear. All right. So let's go to the second. So the second illusion is the illusion of innovation. Very, very dicey point I want to make. Many people, like I said earlier, think that novelty is building something entirely new. You hear people saying that I want to build something that could, there's a lot of ideas you will get to hear when you go to tech events and get people pitch their ideas. You begin to wonder what is happening. How does this benefit Nigeria at this point? How does this benefit our problems as a nation? In fact, which market are you building this team for? Are you building it for your mother and your father, or you are building it for the general good of the nation? So in most cases, you need to understand that most times new is not valuable. new is not valuable, honestly, most of the times. All you need to just do is to find a platform that is already providing a solution in an unsaturated market, a market that is not fully saturated, just like what Gromi did. Pick it out, add some new features, and market it like your life depends on it. And that is innovation, really. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. All you need to just do is to make sure that you tailor it to a market that needs it. I don't know if that's correct. But for us as a nation, there's a caveat. For us as a nation, really, I don't know if I'm being followed. We have a lot of problems. Nigeria have a lot of problems. First of all, we have a database issue. For us in real estate, there is no database anywhere. Not just real estate, oil and gas, every sector. The National Bureau of Statistics, MBS, is just giving us numbers we can't even verify. They just go there, they upload numbers, and we run with it. So we have database issues. So you running a database mining company is enough solution. Just like Harry stated, there are some SaaS platforms, software as a service platforms, that many businesses in Nigeria are looking for. But we can't get them locally because our tech brothers and sisters are thinking about fintech only. They are thinking about the next, Facebook and Twitter. They're not building software that are bringing solutions to the businesses in our current reality. And that is money on the table. That is pure money on the table, and that is innovation. That is innovation. I think the part of the corporate world that is currently being harnessed well is the HR part of the corporate world, where we have the paid HR and the other ones in Lagos. Those guys are doing something that's going to pay them a whole lot of money in the near future. It's already paying them. We have across the corporate sector of Nigeria, there's a lot of software as a service needs that we need. But our tech brothers and sisters are not even thinking in that direction. And how would they even think in that direction? They don't do enough research. They don't study businesses enough. All they care about is how to dole out the next app and probably monetize it as quickly as possible. I mean, the biggest in the market now is, what they call it again? Gift card. Gift card is the most rampant app on the marketplace now. Everybody just comes up with the gift card app because it's easy. It's just there. But we have bigger problems in the corporate space that if you're able to create those apps, create those solutions, your money is going to be very long. I'm telling you for a fact. I'm a business person. I own businesses, and I know the need we need. In fact, we are even building from scratch for our businesses. All right, so the next slide. I said innovation is not novelty. It is economic use. So innovation must serve an economic use. There must be an economic need that your innovation is filling per time for it to make sense. If not, you are just vibing. You're just making, having fun. Number two. Okay, number three. So this is actually very critical. Almost everybody in this hall today can agree with me that we all need capital, right? Do we need capital? I mean, okay, let me put it the right way. Why we have not become billionaires because there's nobody to fund us, right? We all need money now. Why our ideas have not seen the global stage because nobody is right there to support us with money. That's the truth. And that's what many of us has grown to believe. I was training our realtors yesterday night. I was taking their question. And one person asked a question, very critical, that how do I make enough money every month as a real estate consultant? I just smiled. I gave that person an answer that I would like everybody here to go home with. It is the fact that you are looking at the wrong thing. You are fixating your attention on the wrong thing. Money is never the problem. Asking yourself how to make more money is you looking at the very wrong thing. And same thing applies here. For every of you sitting here looking at capital as your problem, you have a fundamental issue internally. Sorry. You have a fundamental issue internally, honestly. The problem is never money. Money has never been the problem. I told her specifically, what if you rephrase your question to, how do I get to generate 20 able, willing, and capable leads for this month to buy my product? If you what if you restructure your question that way? What do you think is going to change? The money will come because you've been able to, replace money with value. So most of us put money before value, and that is why we don't make it. But if you put value before money, people will have to pass through the value you create before they will give you money. And that is where capital comes in. Every person that has the capacity to fund your idea wants to see the value you create. They want to see the clarity, the traction, and the discipline you have been able to imbibe over the course of the last few months, last few years you've been in that business before they can give you capital. And that is the illusion of capital. Many of you think that you just need money. You don't need money. You need value first on the table. You need solution on the table that a market is ready for before you ask for capital. And let me blow your mind. For the past 4 years, we've been building and structuring a business that we have not pitched to anybody for investment. And we know that very soon we'll get it ready. So it's not easy. We need to get our solutions well detailed out before we go meet any investor to give us their money. We are not here to collect money and fold up and move out. Hope that's clear. Are we learning, please? Am I too fast? All right, thank you. So the fourth one, please. 5 more. Okay, I have 5 minutes. Illusion of scale. So many people confuse growth to scale. Growth is simply, I have 10 staff. To the next month, I have 20 staff. But if you look at your balance sheet, nothing is happening. That is not growth. Growth is very simple. How many users, how many customers do you have this month? 1 million users. Next month, what are you gunning for next month? See, scale is based on customers. Growth is based on every other vibes that happens at the company level. Hope that's clear. It's two different things. The customer is what determines your scale. Your growth is whatever happens in your internal processes, your structures, your system, and what have you. Both work hand in hand, but don't confuse one for the other. Many people are so much invested into making sure their systems, their processes are well and functioning. But in most cases, it doesn't translate to scale. So scale is where everything changes. Scaling means that much more people now know about you and much more people are interested in what you are building or what you're selling. And they find confidence in being a repeat customer and coming back over and over again. That is scale. And for every tech brother or tech sister here this afternoon that is building something, you must fixate your attention on scaling. It's important. So I said scale is the multiplication of what already works. Yes. So something is already working, you devise new means, new strategies to amplify it, to reach more people. That's scaling. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's important to note the importance of these things I'm saying. So many people build with illusions with a lot of blind spots. So scaling is different from growth, really. So next one, please. The illusion of recognition. This will be the last one, but not the least. So many tech brothers and sisters, like I said, and like my brother Joseph Don said, doesn't prioritize marketing. Marketing is the lifeline of every business, which translates into sales. As a tech brother or a tech sister, one of the skills you must learn is how to put yourself out there and be seen, how to put your product out there and be seen. And you must make sure that that forms a fundamental part of what you are building every day. As you are coding, you are making plans and making structures that can help you push this product out there in the marketplace. And if you're able to achieve that, then your product is going to be a massive hit. But before I leave here, I would like to remind you something I said earlier, that for you to be able to build a product that will have market adoption, that will be able to be accepted in the marketplace, always build from the customer backwards to your product. Do not build just from the product to the customer. In most cases, you are going to be surprised in a very funny way. Go into the marketplace and ask the people in the market, either virtually or physically, what do you need? How do you want it to be done? How does this solve your real life everyday problem? You understand? Then from there, you can begin to iterate backwards. And if you ever do that, you definitely win. So, so for tech brothers and sisters, right, I also will encourage you that as you are building and you're making your money, you should begin to think about some of these questions here. Are people already paying for this problem? Are there people who have already built what I'm building? Are people paying for it? How do I even make it better so that much more people can pay for it? Do I understand the market deeply? Very important, like I said earlier, you need to go and do your market research. You need to understand your market. Your market is what defines everything you're building. The market is brutal. The market is not emotional. I'm serious what I'm saying. I will use myself as an example. When I began real estate last few years, I thought that because my brothers and sisters love me, they will be the first people to buy from me. No, that was not the truth. They actually they started patronizing me a few years, I think 2 years ago. They were the main people that scrutinized me the most because they want to, when it comes to money, people are emotional about it. They don't want to give their money to somebody that will run away with it. So the market is very brutal. You must always ensure that you have done your market research to a fault. And it's a continuous process. You never come to a point where you say you are done doing your market research because the market evolves, the appetite evolves. So you must consistently iterate. And as a tech brother or a tech sister in this hall today, whenever you get a feedback from anybody using your product, do not trivialize it. No matter how insensitive or you think the feedback is, you must find a way to answer their problem. And if it's something you need to add into your product, by all means integrate it as quickly as possible. Can this generate consistent revenue is a very key. When you're looking for capital, you must always find a way to show your potential investors where this line fits into your product. Is important. You must consistently show them the signal that this product, this service you are building has the capacity to keep on bringing in revenue. Because if you don't do that, nobody's going to fund your idea. Nobody's going to support what you're building. Then you can say, can this scale without breaking? Very key, important. It could break technical-wise. It could break with human factors. You must consistently ask yourself that question. Can what I'm building scale without breaking? What are the plans I'm putting in place to mitigate any future break, any optionality of it breaking in the future? You have to consistently work with that at the back of your mind. And before I leave, I'd like to remind you something. As a business person, you are taking a step of faith. There's nothing assured really. A lot of people have gotten funding this month, and in 3 months, they are folding up. So you might begin to wonder, is it that the people collected the money and ran away? No, a lot of things happen in business. And because of that, you don't even have the luxury of not being updated every day about your industry. You must make learning, you must make training a constant habit every day of your life as a business owner. And in that way, you begin to minimize the risk of what you are building failing, very, very importantly. So you must consistently make that a live start. So I want to end with encouraging every tech member here, every tech brother here to understand that technology is very volatile. Technology is very volatile. Business is very volatile also. As you are building, you are earning income, always find a way to secure what keeps you. You must find a way to secure what keeps you. And I would definitely talk to you from my area of strength, which is real estate. Real estate, of course, we all know is the most stable form of, saving your future when it comes to assets, when it comes to your money. Every other asset class is there. You can talk about gold, you can talk about stocks and bonds. Those are amazing asset classes. But real estate is the most stable, inflation-resistant form of saving your future. So when you're building, you're making your money, please do well to find a way to begin to pull up some of those your funds into real estate as a way of preserving your future and that of your family and your generation, right? Very, very key. Next slide, please. So thank you so much for listening to me today. I hope I've been able to, explain myself. Thank you. Thank you. So before I leave, I would like to introduce our PropTech app, which is the Project Young Landlord. So Project Young Landlord was created for young people like this. We noticed that many young people, when the concept of buying properties comes on the table, a lot of people tune off because of the millions being mentioned. So me and my team, went into to think through it, and we developed a product. It's an app, Project Young Landlord. You can download it on your Play Store or App Store right now. So with Project Young Landlord, you could start with as little as 350,000 initial deposits and spread the balance for 18 months. That is massive. I don't think anything like that is happening in Port Harcourt currently. So you can go to the App Store and download that. I think one of my team members is going to come up later to discuss about that. And my team is also moving around to share the flyers. So it's just for the young people and parents of young people that want to safeguard their future and their future really. Download the app, sign up, and of course begin your journey. Seamless. And there is a warranty on it. If you deposit for a plot of land and you come for inspection, you don't like what you see, you get 100% refund of your money. There's no argument about that. So thank you so much for listening to me. Have a wonderful day. And of course, a round of applause to the organizers of the event, Mr. Stewart and his team. God bless you.